Hi, my name is Nicole, and this is the CK Diary Podcast. I hope that you guys have had a great week. You guys will probably hear a little bit of wind in the audio today. It is super, super windy outside, and it is like howling against our house. So I'm pretty late filming this. I usually post on Thursdays, and I'm filming this on a Friday. I feel like we've just had such a busy week, just going and doing things for the boys throughout the day. But it's been a really fun week. So I do have finished objects this week, but I don't have them physically to show you right now. I already gifted them to the person I was gifting them to. So I made a handful of dishcloths. I think I made 6. I made 2 tannish ones, and then 2 variegated, and then 2 green. I made them. A friend of mine, she told me that her grandmother used to crochet dishcloths for her and her mom, and they loved them, and they were getting low. So whenever I started crocheting, I crocheted her a few dishcloths, and she told me just a few weeks ago that her mom came down to visit and loved them, so she took some of them with her. So I went ahead and made them both a fall set. But while I'm talking about it, I'll put a little video of the ones that I made. I have to go find the patterns that I used. I used all free patterns. I didn't even put them on my Ravelry page. I needed this weekend. I felt, I don't know, I'm not overwhelmed. I felt like I just needed to rest this weekend though. And with that, I wanted some knitting projects that were a little bit quick, some quick satisfaction knits. So the washcloths were a perfect project. I didn't list or link any of them, or I don't know what you would call it, post any of them on Ravelry. I might go through and go ahead and add those to my Ravelry just because this is my first year on Ravelry, and I've really wanted to keep everything documented so I can see where I started my first year of knitting and where I ended my first year of knitting. I think it would be nice to keep a diary of that. So I probably will post those eventually, but for now, in the show notes down below, you will be able to find the patterns that I used. All right, moving on to whips. I usually do write some little notes on my show notes, but I feel so scatterbrained right now that I literally wrote almost every single little detail out for me. So the first whip I will share is my husband's sweater. I said last week I was going to try to have the bottom ribbing done. That did not happen because I worked on my little washcloths all weekend and haven't really had a whole lot of time to pull out a big sweater to work on. Whenever I'm in the car, I like bringing small projects. Whenever we're out at restaurants or whatever it is, I like having small projects. I am almost done with the ribbing. I wish I had a measuring tape with me. So the bottom ribbing is supposed to be 7, or the way I'm working it, it's going to be 7 centimeters. I want to say I have 4 centimeters right now, I think. So almost done. I'm really, really enjoying this project. It is the Wafer Sweater by Woodland Knits. And I'm using Knit Picks Superwash Wool of the Andes yarn in the colorway Cobblestone Heather. And I've just recently started noticing it. I don't know if it's because there's more weight down at the bottom of the sweater, but I have noticed the German short row shaping a little bit more. I think it's really neat how you can tell where the front, which side is the front, which side is the back because of the short row shaping. I think that is pretty neat. I've done short row shaping before. I've never done it like I've done it on this sweater. In fact, I posted help for the short row shaping on this sweater because I didn't quite understand it. And I asked in a couple of different places, and the only one response that I got told me just to take it line by line, but they didn't. I'm thinking from their response that maybe they also didn't quite understand it. And then the other response that I got was that they were familiar with short row shaping, but they had never seen short row shaping like that before, like it was listed in the pattern. So I just did my best and it worked out, I think. I mean, I have to try it on him, but I think it worked out. It looks good, and it looks like it's not uneven in the back or anything. So we will see. All right, moving on to my next whip. So this weekend we were going to go on just a little road trip, I guess, just a quick 3-day weekend type getaway. But with the weather, you know, Hurricane Helene just came through. We didn't get it bad here at all. We're in St. Augustine, and we're still pretty far away from the beaches. I think the closest beach to us is like 25 minutes. But St. Augustine Beach is almost an hour away, I think. So we're still pretty far away from the water. So we never see any flooding or anything really whenever a hurricane comes through. It's been crazy windy, but that's really all we got. We hardly got any rain even. I think it sprinkled a little bit late last night, but no, from what we saw, like maybe while we were asleep, but from what we saw and what we could tell whenever we woke up, there wasn't really any rain at all. That being said, we were planning on going on a little road trip, so I got a lot of projects ready to go. I wound up a few cakes for my husband's sweater, and I wound up a few cakes for my Coziest Memories blanket. And I also started a square. For some reason, I'm always like, I hear about people casting on or starting a project before they get in the car. So I've got in my head that I'm like, it's going to be so hard to start this in the car. This isn't bad. I do think whenever you're like if you're casting on socks, since the yarn is so thin and you're having to, you know, count the stitches in the round, I guess that can be a little frustrating, especially if you like need to start over counting, or if you have kids, like I have kids in the back of the car that are yelling and want my attention. And so I'm sure it can be frustrating, but this isn't that bad. So I don't know why I keep stressing myself out about casting on a new square. It's actually quite easy. I'm just using a orange mini skein that I got in the Polka Dot Creek, the 2024 blanket thing that they do. It's like mystery. Well, actually, I don't think it is mystery yarn. I thought it was whenever I signed up for it, but I do think they show the color of the yarn in the listing. Either way, I just cast it on another square of that, and then I caked up a few other colors. Is this right? Okay, so let me show you. This is what I have casted on right now. It's from that Polka Dot Creek 2024 blanket advent. And then this is the next one I will add in. This is from the Suburban Stitcher. I think it was Suburban Stitcher. The birthday tea party box. She does a birthday box every year around her birthday, I believe. I think it's her birthday. It might be the company's birthday, but I think it's her birthday. And this one was a tea party theme. And it's got some, I told you guys a while ago whenever I talked about the Coziest Memories blanket, every square that I'm doing, I want the square touching it to have some of the colors from the previous square or previous squares. So you can see it's probably hard to see on here. Both of these squares have little tiny orange flecks in them. So that's why I'm doing the orange. And then whenever you look at this, there are also kind of hard to see because they're so small, but there's little tiny flecks of orange in here as well. And then after I get done with this square, I've got this yarn ready for it for the next. You can see there's some pops of this in here. And I am doing like one variegated yarn, one solid color yarn. Although this one has a couple of little speckles in it, but that's okay. It actually has a couple of orange speckles too. Sometimes you have to look really, really close at the variegated yarn or the speckled yarn because they have like, you'll be able to find little teeny tiny speckles of colors that you didn't realize were in there. All right. And for my final whip this week, it is my muscle bear hat. I haven't worked on it a ton since you guys saw it last, but I've gotten a few rounds in and every round counts. So I will go ahead and show you. I'm probably about halfway done with this hat at this point. I've really enjoyed working on it. It's so nice to just have something that's like mindless stockinette. I love the way the increases look. But yeah, I'm not in a rush for this project. But it's been really fun to work up. So let's see, get back on track here. The yarn that I'm using is from Kettle and Hearth Fibers. It is their nutmeg spice yarn. Just a reminder, if you'd like to help support me and my channel, you can, and you want to purchase yarn from Kettle and Hearth Fibers, I have an affiliate link down below. It doesn't add an additional cost to you. It just lets them know that you found them through my link, and it helps support me and my channel. I did want to add a couple of extra things onto here. So Kettle and Hearth Fibers, they are doing a collaborated re-release of 2 patterns from Lauren. Oh, I didn't write down her last name. I'll add all that information down below. Lauren is re-releasing her Santa Barbara hat and her green park hat. It will now be available for DK Weight Yarns. And she is offering a discount code for any of her self-published patterns through September 30th. And the code is KETTLE, Kettle. But yeah, that is it. That is all I had to share with you guys today. Life stuff, it's just been the same old, nothing too exciting. We've been trying to explore some new parks in the area. I've been trying to get a little bit braver. We live in a very, very safe area, and I'm very grateful for that. We can go to any parks or trails or anything around us and not be worried too much. But I am scared of everything. So I don't typically like walk the trails by myself with the boys. I always want my husband with me, or, you know, to go with a few friends. But there's a park close by, kind of close by, and they have I don't think it's quite a mile trail, but there's a playground and then there's a trail that goes out to a dock, and it's super, I mean, there's people there all the time. We've never gone and not passed people on the trail or seen people on the dock, but I've never gone by myself with the boys. But this time I was so super brave and went down the trail with the boys all by myself, and then we ended up meeting a family while we were out at the dock, and we walked back with them, which was nice. But yeah, nothing else too crazy this weekend. Like I said, we were planning on going on a little road trip. I don't think that's going to happen now, so I'm not sure what we have in store. I'm probably going to want to rest a lot. I have not been sleeping a whole lot lately, just been up knitting or working on stuff and trying to get some things done around the house. But anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. If any of you or your families were affected by the storms, we are praying for you. I know we know some people down in Tampa and up in Georgia, and it hasn't been as kind to them as it was to us. But I hope that you all have a great weekend and get a lot of rest, and I will see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.